For the third time in as many months, Israeli soldiers came for this Bedouin camp. For the third time using heavy equipment to destroy structures donated by Western governments, even upending the limited drinking water upon which these Bedouin Palestinians depend.
احنا اجوا علينا في 4/11 الساعة 12 الظهر، هدموا كل التجمعات الموجودة في منطقة حمصة وهدموا وراحوا. يعني بعد فترة نتفاجئ انهم في شهر 2 بعودوا بيرجعوا كمان مرة بيهدموا كل اللي بيننا في الشهرين اللي ماضيين.
This is Palestinian land that Israel has claimed since the founding of the Jewish state. Time and time again, these people have had somehow to rescue their few possessions and attempt to rebuild their homes. Their Bedouin lives do not easily fit with present-day geopolitical disputes about territory. And now the international community is involved. The European Union and the United Kingdom supplied the Bedouins with new tents after the Israeli attack in November. The labels are clearly seen in last week's wreckage. On Friday, James Cleverly, the Foreign Office Minister, called upon Israel to stop these demolitions, a signal that the international community is beginning to sustain pressure on the Israeli government. Most active in caring for these people is the Norwegian Council for Refugees, supported by 11 European nations.
I wish they could be more forceful. What I hope is that these 11 countries would now say to Israel, this is not to behave even as an occupying power. You have a responsibility to protect civilians, not bulldoze the homes of children.
Once again, the wreckage of domestic life litters the landscape. The world looks on, shocked, but apparently incapable of preventing it. Earlier, I spoke to Ohad Zemit, spokesman for the Israeli embassy in London. I asked him, given that international law prohibits moving people in occupied territory against their will, why is Israel carrying out these removals?
Israel is committed to international law. Actually, Israel is the only country in the region in which international law is part of the judicial system. This case was debated for 10 years within the Israeli judicial system, and after offers and compromises were tried and they were rejected. So after 10 years of debate, the decision was taken to enforce. I have to say that according to the Oslo Agreement, the area, the zoning and planning in the area is under the jurisdiction of Israel.
It may be, but it's still against international law to remove people against their will from their own lands.
I disagree. Our independent judicial system checked this issue, and they had the evidence from both sides, including aerial photos. And these people didn't have any claim to the area, to the place. They are illegal squatters that we went to an extent to find compromise.
But this is extraordinary because these people have actually been, these Bedouin people have been in this area long before even the founding of the Jewish state.
When a court have a decision and debate this, he looks at evidence, he looks at the law in the territory, and he looks at claims. And Israel has a very independent judiciary, maybe the only country in the region with an independent judiciary that's highly regarded even in the UK. And and the court decided that they didn't have a legal claim, so it's up to the courts.
You'll be aware that the British Foreign Office, in the form of the Foreign Office Minister, have called on Israel just to stop this behaviour immediately. Quote.
UK is a strong friend of Israel. We see eye to eye on many issues. There are certain issues we have, like every friend. We have disagreements, but we still have our discussion, our dialogue. This case was decided by our Supreme Court after 10 years of legal deliberations, and we expect everyone to respect our court's integrity.
One last question. Why can't they stay there?
The area is being used for other purposes, and therefore they can find a solution. We can find a solution with them and find them a different place.
Well, you could have added that you want to have a firing range there. Why not move the firing range instead of the families?
So Israel military and Israeli government is using certain area of the West Bank for certain purposes. And the issue that this is a firing range, this is actually make the political use of these people more dangerous. There is a danger for their life if they stay. So all these people that advocate for their staying and are basically putting life in danger for a political gain. And they could you can ask the question the other way around. Why couldn't they move to a different place after the court established that they have no legal claim? It's the same in every country that has a rule of law and has a zoning and planning and judicial oversight over it.
Ohad Zemit, thank you very much indeed for talking with us. Thank you.